Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the biological reality of what actually happens to your body after you turn 30. If you've been feeling, a little anxious about crossing that big threshold, or if you're already there and wondering why things feel just a bit different, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to unpack the science, bust some major myths, and show you exactly why your body absolutely isn't falling apart.
We've all heard those ominous warnings, right? Someone older and supposedly wiser looks at you and says, "Oh, just wait until you turn 30. And hey, maybe you're already noticing a few subtle shifts. You sleep the exact same number of hours, but somehow you wake up feeling way more tired. Or maybe a few days of eating junk food just completely bogs you down. And that workout you used to bounce back from in a few hours, now it leaves you sore for 2 solid days, and you're making this weird groaning noise every time you stand up. It's incredibly common to experience this and immediately assume, yep, my body's expiration date has arrived.
But here's the reality. Turning 30 does not trigger a sudden physical crash. Your body doesn't have some hidden internal alarm clock that goes off on your 30th birthday and decides to just break down. What's actually happening is a process of gradual adaptation. These shifts are heavily influenced by your lifestyle, your daily stress, how much you sleep, your activity levels, and yeah, your genetics too. The myth is sudden destruction. The reality? It's a gradual shift that you actually have a huge amount of control over.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the age 30 myth, your changing physical foundation, internal shifts in recovery, the power of compounding, and finally, influencing how you age. This is going to show you exactly how your internal systems are adapting and how your habits put you firmly in the driver's seat. Section 1. The age 30 myth. Let's start by officially busting the pervasive idea that hitting your 30s means you hit a biological wall. The human body is incredibly resilient, and understanding how it transitions is the very first step to optimizing it.
Moving to Section 2. Your changing physical foundation. We're talking about the structural nuts and bolts here, your muscles, bones, joints, and even your skin.
A completely crucial biological process to understand here is sarcopenia. Now, I know that sounds a bit intimidating, but it really just means the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength as we age. This process can actually start pretty early, but it definitely becomes noticeable post-30. So why does this matter so much? Because muscle isn't just about looking good in the mirror. Muscle helps you move, it maintains your balance, it literally protects your joints from wear and tear, and it uses energy. Sarcopenia perfectly explains why you might start burning slightly fewer calories at rest. Less muscle simply means your body has a lower energy demand. But here is the seriously empowering truth. You can fight back. You don't have to just accept muscle loss. Resistance training is the ultimate counterattack. We're talking about basic bodyweight exercises, maybe using resistance bands in your living room or hitting the weights at the gym. And crucially, no bodybuilding required. You don't need to step on a competition stage. You literally just need to give your muscles a consistent reason to stay strong. Our structural foundation changes across the board, so let's break down exactly what you can do. First up, collagen loss. As we age, our skin produces less collagen, becoming less elastic. The actionable habit? Protect yourself from UV rays with daily sunscreen. It isn't just cosmetic, it's essential armor. Next is bone mass. Your bones aren't static. They're constantly breaking down and rebuilding. By 30, they've peaked, so maintaining them with weight-bearing exercises, calcium, and vitamin D is like building a physical reserve for your future. And what about those random joint aches? Often they aren't just getting old. They're related to poor posture or inadequate strength. The fix here is to maintain your posture, avoid overuse, and just stay active.
Section 3. Internal shifts and recovery. Moving inward, we need to address the hidden machinery. We're going to look at how your metabolism, cardiovascular systems, and recovery demands transform over time.
Okay, it is time to stop blaming your age for a broken metabolism. This is probably the most widely believed myth out there. People think they wake up on their 30th birthday and their metabolism just gives up. But the reality? Energy expenditure changes very gradually. For the vast majority of people, the real culprit behind a slower metabolism is just a change in daily movement. We graduate, we get office jobs, we walk way less, and we sit way more. Those small decreases in daily movement add up massively over the years. So focus on what you can actually control. Move regularly and maintain that muscle mass we just talked about.
You also can't ignore your internal systems anymore. First, cardiovascular risks. You don't need to wait until you're 50 to care about your heart. Blood pressure and cholesterol matter right now because heart health is influenced by years of compounding habits. Second, hormonal changes. There's this huge misconception that hormones suddenly crash at 30. They don't. The changes are very gradual. So if you're experiencing major symptoms, consult a doctor. Don't just blame your age. And finally, a surprising one, presbyopia. If you find yourself holding your phone further and further away like it's a trombone just to read a text message, don't panic. This is a completely normal age-related vision change that just means you might need regular eye exams.
So the crucial takeaway here is that your recovery now demands strict respect. Remember when you could exercise hard, sleep 4 hours, and feel totally fine? Yeah, those days are over. The new rules of recovery mean your muscle repair might require an extra rest day between intense sessions. Your sleep becomes significantly more sensitive to stress, caffeine, and alcohol, and you simply cannot sacrifice consistent sleep without feeling the biological consequences. Chronic sleep deprivation completely messes with your mood, your focus, and yes, your metabolism. Furthermore, long-term stress actually begins to manifest physically through blood pressure and appetite changes. Stress management is no longer a luxury for a spa day. It's an absolute biological necessity.
Section 4. The power of compounding. This brings us to the most significant shift of all, how your daily lifestyle choices literally start to act like a compounding investment account for your body.
I really want you to focus deeply on this exact quote from the source material. The margin for neglect becomes smaller. I love this phrasing because it absolutely nails the thesis of aging. In your early 20s, you had this massive margin for error. But as you cross into your 30s, you can no longer get away with a few nights of terrible sleep, or weeks of eating ultra-processed foods, or just never exercising. Health isn't determined by one bad day, but by patterns repeated over years. The margin shrinks, which means your everyday choices hold way more weight.
Think of it as two distinct trajectories. On one hand, you have neglected habits. A completely sedentary week here, constant stress there, poor diet. These things don't just disappear. They compound into severe health deficits over time. But hey, the exact same biological principle works entirely in your favor. Compounding habits like regular walking, consistent strength training, a balanced diet, and even maintaining meaningful relationships, these compound into incredible long-term resilience. Every single good choice is a deposit into your future health account.
Finally, Section 5, Influencing How You Age. To wrap up this explainer, let's reframe your 30s. Instead of looking at this decade as the beginning of the end, we need to view it as a massive window of opportunity.
First and foremost, the really good news is that you don't suddenly become old. If you wake up with a stiff back, your body isn't betraying you. It's just adapting to the completely natural aging process. The goal of life isn't to magically stay 20 years old forever. The goal is reaching your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond with a beautifully maintained, well-cared-for body. Because of that shrinking margin of neglect we just talked about, your 30s are actually the absolute best time in your life to lock in the habits that will protect you for the next several decades.
The reality is beautifully simple. You can't stop aging, but you can influence how you age. You can't stop the clock, the calendar is going to keep flipping, but as we've learned throughout this explainer, you wield immense, undeniable power over the quality, the strength, and the vitality of your physical future. You are literally the architect of your own resilience. I want to leave you with this final, provocative question to ponder as we close out. What compounding habit will you start building today? Will it be strength training to fight off sarcopenia? Will it be guarding your sleep schedule to respect your body's new rules of recovery? The choice is entirely yours, and the benefits will last a lifetime. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Remember to take care of your physical foundation, and I'll catch you in the next one.